All righty, good to be back with you live here on the program. Thursday, 24 May. Had a little kerfluffle on the program yesterday. We just had a major dump all across the spectrum. Phone lines, equipment. We were coming out of the block strong there yesterday. And the funny thing was, I kind of like zone out, and I don't notice that the guys are trying to wave me off or pull me into the pits. I'm chewing the microphone, ready to go to a break. Marcelo's waving on the Skype. Brad's sending me text up on the AP, and I'm not paying attention to any of it because I'm in the talk zone, and we got bumped off the air rather quickly yesterday. And I had a good flow going.
I'm sure you did.
I was digging what I was.
Screen.
Didn't I? That was. Anyway, sorry you missed it. I had a good time. Anyway, want to thank everybody at CenturyLink, DirecTV, Talk Radio Network, and KDON, 7:20 a.m. here in Las Vegas for putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. They were on it immediately, and I think wrapped up today just about 10 o'clock this morning. So good to be back live with you on the air. And again, thanks to everybody for making it all happen so that we could be back with you. We do appreciate when you take your time to be with here on the program. Marcelo working the dials, Brad producing the program. Emails at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Interesting part of the downtime yesterday, which wasn't really downtime. I thought about maybe, I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't working. Oh, I know what I'd do. I'd be a couch potato. I would sit there and watch reruns of old shows. But I took the 3 hours that I normally get to enjoy spending time with you on the air to do some research on something that I've been putting together and trying to get certain elements for confirmation of, which ties into the poll question that we have up today at the website, jerrydoyle.com. Here's the poll question. The U.S. government uses fuzzy math regarding overall debt and liabilities. The official deficit number for last year was $1.3 trillion. I asked the question, if all obligations were included, what would the real number be? Is it 1.7 trillion, 2.9 trillion, 4.6 trillion, 5.0 trillion, or is it $605 trillion? So far, nobody's bid on 1.7 and 2.9. 21% of the people say, no, it's not 1.3, it's 4.6. 54% of the people say the number's 5.0, and 25% of the people are saying it is $605 trillion. That's a big number, because you have to put that number in perspective. If you take a look at the gross domestic product of the United States, all the goods and services that we produce, everything we, the worker bees, are doing, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, day in and day out, goods and services, people buying, selling, commerce being done, the entire GDP is right around $15 trillion. Let's take a look at the world. What's the gross domestic product of every worker bee doing everything day in and day out on the planet? It's about $65 trillion. Now, the number that our government has put us on the hook for, we the taxpayers, is 10 times the gross domestic product of the entire planet. I want you to think about that for a second. How'd that happen? Where'd that come from? Now, this is a story that's gigantic in and of itself, but it's really symptomatic of a much bigger problem, and that's the problem of the special interests, the problem of the people who have the ear of those who, first of all, don't understand what it is they're being told, but do understand that getting reelected is the only thing that matters to them, for the most part. There are some out there on both sides of the aisle that actually do give a rat's patoot about the direction of this country and leaving the campground a little nicer than the way we found it. But you see, they're talking to members of the House and they're talking to members of the Senate, and they're telling them that, well, you see, the cross-march derivatives, yeah, how much you got for me? $50,000. I think that's a great idea, because it's all about them, and it's all about their reelection, and it's all about their power. So money is the mother's milk of politics, so they need the money to get reelected. So they basically do the bidding of those who are going to provide or bundle and give them the money that's so necessary to their political future. But what they don't understand, first of all, is what they're there to do, which is to represent we the people. What they don't understand is the damage that they do. And the damage that they do that they never look back and take a look at. My mom's 84 years old. She still thinks one day, she had a stroke, I guess about a year ago, and she still thinks she's going to get back out on the road. And I say, Mom, you're 84 years old. Not going to happen. She goes, I'm a good driver. I go, you're an okay driver. At your best, you were an okay driver. Now you're 84 years old. You're not so good. She goes, I've never been in an accident in my life. I go, I know, but you've caused 1,000. See, the problem is you don't see the wreckage behind you. You don't see the people that have to shuck and jive and dive to get out of the way of the things that you do. It's the same thing with Congress. I've never caused a blah, 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 blah in my entire time here in the hallowed halls of Congress. Have you ever looked back? I've never introduced it. Have you ever looked back? No, what they do is they snap off the exterior mirrors, they snap off the rearview mirrors, and they just look out that front windshield of their political future. And the road to them is endless and wide open. They don't want to get bogged down in traffic. They don't want to have to deal with those little impediments along the way that we do. They don't want the spike strips of reality thrown in front of their tires, which would be people doing checks and balances of what it is, the damages that they're doing to this country. But if they ever did look back, which is what a part of what I was doing yesterday, and I've been doing on this program since we started this program in 2004, is to take a look at the bigger picture. To take a look at what has been happening, who's been making it happen, who's been avoiding the realities of what is happening and what is happening now, but more important, where does it project us to be in the future? Now, the number for a current fiscal year is the 5.0 trillion. So the 54% of you who guessed that on the poll question at jerrydoyle.com got it right. They say it's 1.3, but it's really 5.0. They say that the average indebtedness per household is X. Well, it's almost 5 times X. Because the reality is that they can do whatever it is they want to do. For example, Social Security. Social Security, according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, is not a legal obligation. Think about that. But we're legally obligated to pay into it. Actually, we don't even have the legal obligation to pay into it. They just take it. So they take our money without any legal obligation to pay us our money back with any kind of a rate of return. Hell, we just want the money back. But if you looked at the reality, Social Security has the biggest financial slide. The government today needs $22.2 trillion set aside earning interest to cover benefits promised to current workers and retirees beyond what current taxes will cover. That's $9.5 trillion more than the number was in 2004. Deficits from 2004 to 2011 would be 6 times the official total of $5.6 trillion that they report. Federal debt and commitments is about $561,000 per household. Now, what does the average household owe in money? Mortgages, car loans, credit cards. The average household, and they tell us we're reckless with our spending, owes about $116,000. The government has committed our households to $561,000 per household, with benefits that we're supposedly getting that they have no obligation to pay. They say we're $1.3 trillion in the hole. The number's actually 5.0 because they use fuzzy math, because they can change the rules anytime they want. The problem that we're having here is that, first of all, they don't know what they're doing. They don't even know the damage they're doing with the bills that they introduce and sign or vote for without ever reading, whether it's Obamacare or Dodd-Frank or the list goes on. The only thing they do is what an actor does when an actor gets a script. When I used to get a script on Babylon 5, typically between 40 and 45 pages. And I'd get the script, and I'd look at the title, and I'd say, oh, Shadow of Darkness, that's great, nice, whatever. Open it up. First page, Garibaldi. Cool. Second page, Garibaldi. Third page, Garibaldi. Fourth page, Garibaldi. 5, no Garibaldi. 6, no Garibaldi. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, no Garibaldi. 17, one page, Garibaldi. That's it. I go through the script and I go, wait a minute. I'm a series lead. I got 12 out of 42 pages? That's the way Congress reads a bill. But you see, Congress reads it differently. All they care about is what they've been sold and told and what they've been paid to make sure gets into that bill. So they're going to go through that bill and they're going to say, wow, look at that on page 1,117. There it is, the promise that was made to the pharmaceutical industry. There it is on page 1,283, the promise that was made to whoever. Fill in the blank. They read the script exactly the same way an actor reads a script in the first go. Just to see what's in it for me and just to see what's in it for them. But the reality is, when you take a look at how they have not done their job in even knowing what's in the bills that they sign or vote for or become law, they have no idea what it is that's in those bills and the damage that it is doing to this country with the promises that are being made with money that we don't have. The fiscal cliff that we're heading towards. And the only thing you hear from Congress, what cliff? Because the only thing that they're concerned about is this November and 2 Novembers from now and the 2 beyond that. But unfortunately, beyond that is the fiscal ruin of this country. I'm not parsing this out lightly, folks. We as a government, we as taxpayers on the hook for the promises the government makes, are right now on the hook for in excess of $600 trillion.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
And you know when we were going to find out about that? After the election. Because this president and this Congress are right now obligating us, the taxpayers, to be the financial safety net for the $600 trillion of synthetic derivatives that the Treasury Secretary told us about in an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal 5 months ago. And now we're coming to find out that these hedges, these clearinghouses, are going to be determined to be too big to fail. And if they do, we the little guys are going to have to be there to clean up the mess yet once again. Stick with me.
This is the Jerry Doyle Show.